Team Negative Star in the house. Do we have Team Africa in the house? Do we have WFG in the house? 21 years ago, I remember that last handshake from my father. As I was heading out of the house to the airport to board the airline to the United States of America from Cameroon. And I remember his last words. He told me, as you are going to the land of the dreamers, I want you not to forget the fundamentals. He told me, when you get to America, go to school, study hard, have good grades, graduate from school, look for a good job, work hard, and go for the corporate ladder. Then you'll have financial success. So I had a bachelor's degree in nursing, worked for 10 years, then went for a master's degree, family nurse practitioner, worked for 3 years, and 15 years later, I had not even gone halfway paying back my school loan. I knew I had no way of financial success, but everything changed for me the day I met a man by name Levi Bonnie. He told me, if you are looking for financial success, I want you to help families. From that day, I embarked on the journey of WFG, and I went in search of families to help. One of those family members was my uncle, who is based in the state of Maryland. I remember sitting in his living room. He is sitting over there. 2 years ago, there is COVID. I had a mask on. And we went through discussions about the importance of life insurance. We talked about long-term care. We talked about chronic illness. We talked about critical illness. We talked about terminal illness. 4 hours later, my uncle thanked me so much for having come into a home with such an information, because he's been living in America for 45 years, never heard about it. We put in a $500,000 policy. 3 months after policy is approved, I called my uncle. I am so happy for you. Your policy has been approved. Uncle says, go ahead. Let's draft the policy. Let's get the policy into effect. Policy is drafted. 2 weeks after, my uncle calls me. Daniel, I want to cancel. I said, Uncle, what happened? I don't want it anymore. I said, why? I don't want it anymore. Yeah, I remember all those things you said. You said if you have a stroke, if you have cancer, if you have a heart attack, it's going to help you. I don't need it. Because as you know, in our family, nobody gets sick. We don't have heart attack in our family. We don't have a stroke in our family. We don't have all those things you're talking about. Can't you see my mother is 98 years old and still going to the gym? We don't have that problem. I did everything in my power to convince him otherwise. He said, no, I don't want it. I said, Uncle, I want you to look at me, because you will remember this day, this discussion at this time. And on the day you remember it, it will be too late. And then I remember ending like this. You will remember me when the rooster crows 3 times. 2 years later, on Good Friday of all days, my wife Linda and the kids were getting ready to go to church for the Stations of the Cross, for those who understand what that means. Yes. And we are about getting into the car. My phone rings. It's Uncle. I'm like, why is Uncle calling me? Hello, Uncle? Yes, Daniel. How are you doing? I'm doing just fine. How about you, uncle? How are you doing? I have a problem. I need help. I said, what is happening? He said, well, I was coming back from work and I was engaged in a car accident. I broke some bones in my back. Surgery was done and it didn't go well. I have been bedridden. I have been paralyzed now for the past 1 year. I haven't worked. I lost my job 3 months later because I couldn't go to work anymore. I lost all the income. As I speak to you today, my house is on foreclosure. My car has been repossessed. Can you please help me? I said, how may I help? My uncle told me, remember that thing you came to our house 2 years ago? Didn't you say that life insurance policy, if I am paralyzed, I can have it activated so I can have some money while I was still alive? I said, yes, uncle, that's exactly what I told you. He said, well, is there a way you can go back and reactivate the policy? Because now I need it. I remember my eyes red, tears in my eyes, and I'm thinking, why me? Why is this happening to me? Why my own family? And I looked at him and I said, uncle, do you remember the day and the last words I told you? What was the last thing I told you on that day you were trying to cancel that policy? He said, I will regret. Yes, I said more than that. I told you, you will remember me when the rooster crows 3 times. It's kind of crazy. It's Good Friday. The day actually happened in the Bible, and you have remembered me. But unfortunately, it's too late. Unfortunately, it is too late. It is irreversible. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that in the United States of America, the number 1 cause of poverty is chronic illness and critical illness? Did you also know that in the United States of America, the number 1 cause of bankruptcy to business people is chronic illness and critical illness? So we have some work to do. Can you guys agree? Yeah. Now, please tell me, if you are in this hall today and it's your first time being at the convention, can you please stand up? If this is your first time at the convention, please stand up. All right. I want you to know, I want you to stay standing. I want you to know, you and I, we have an assignment. Because as you are here today, don't sit here. As you are here today, there are 2 people within you. And they are speaking to you 2 voices. One voice, it says quit. The other voice, it says win. And these 2 voices are competing for airtime. One of them is going to win. A loser, you quit. A winner, you win. One of them is going to win. So here's my challenge for you today. You are listening to all these voices. I want you to always override the quitting voice with the winning voice. Because, let me give you some clues. Every time you hear that quitting voice, the loser voice, let me give you some clues when it starts speaking to you. Every time you hear yourself saying, this business is too difficult, I cannot do it, I want you to know that quitting voice is speaking to you, it's time to override. Every time that charge back happens, I want you to know the quitting voice is speaking to you, it's time to override the winning voice. Tell yourself, I am a winner, not a quitter. Every time your family member walk away from the business, tell yourself, I am a winner, not a quitter. Every time you had an appointment and you were disappointed, they didn't show up, tell yourself, I'm a winner, not a quitter. Every time they do that policy, they call and they cancel without even telling you, tell yourself, I am a winner, not a quitter. We have some work to do. It's time for us to go city by city, block by block, house by house, state by state, until every single family in America has been helped. The time to do it